Before we begin, a quick introduction to who we are. The GHRC is a growing platform for HR professional, business leader, and aspiring talent built around the idea of discover, connect, learn, grow, and contribute. In just 2 years, we have grown into a strong network of over 2,700 plus members, collaborating with leading organizations and creating spaces for meaningful learning and connection. Now, moving on to today's session. Imposter syndrome is often misunderstood as a lack of confidence, but it often shows up in highly capable and high performing individuals. In this session, we'll explore why these feelings arise, how confidence is often misinterpreted, and how self doubt can support growth and understood well. We'll also touch upon how workplace environment influence these experiences. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today. Renu Rothagi, a seasoned HR leader, global HR advisor, and executive coach with nearly 2 decades of experience. Currently the director of HR and communication at Air Liquid India. She is passionate about unlocking human potential and building people centric organizations. She brings deep expertise across talent management, employee engagement, and leadership development, and has recognized for driving impactful HR strategies in global organizations. Her work reflects a strong focus on innovation, empathy, and creating meaningful work, uh, workplace culture. Let's welcome Renu and let her take us through. Over to you, Renu.
Thank you so very much, Ritika, and kudos to your courage for asking people to speak up, to have the speed network, and I really like your patience, and also all the more the fact that we have been speaking for a long time, and I think today we are here. So my sincere regards to the GHRC for putting such a valuable efforts for making this platform visible, and which is only possible because I think you are doing a lot of interventions to bring cascade and a lot of interactivity. So all the best, and I see a very, very good future of GHRC because there's a lot of new latest topics which are coming up, and I think we as a HR community essentially should always be curious and hungry to know what's happening in the world so that we can bring that back to our community and our society for the benefit of all. So, on that note, since you've already introduced me, and I'm very glad to meet my colleagues, Khushbu and all of the colleagues who are here in this call. It's always a delight, it's a circle. It's always a delight to meet your people back, learn from them, give back your learning, and see that how every day we can improve ourselves more to build up the competence of the HR. And I am a firm believer that we remain, I mean, I, for myself, is a student for lifelong learner. I don't think that there is a day which I feel that I am sufficient enough. So, and that's again, it's a good feeling and an imposter feeling as well. I would like to put this across. On that note, I would like to introduce today's topic, and I see we are exactly in time. And like you said, that we have almost like many people who registered, but there are few curious learners who did that in an action, and you were the one. So again, do not take it as a session for learning. It's an interactivity, and I leave it to your discretion. Challenge me back, and let's have a discussion around this topic. How what we can take back as a learning, and what we can really put forward, as a food for thought to keep deliberating. Which is called the topic is called the cost of looking confident. May I request the team of GHRC to please display the slide, Pradeep or Ritika?
Yes, we'll be doing that.
Great. A few of the hygienes we can do it that, I've tried to put across certain activities, mostly on the chat, but you have all your discretions to raise your hands up. We have in the chat box, the comment and the chat. Please raise your hands if you have any questions so that I can stop and reply. But I think largely when we cover the topic, it will be good that we should just cover up the questions in a one go. I will let you manage that. However, I'm flexible on both the parts. All right, so let's go to the slideshow mode. Before we begin with this particular topic, I would like to ask something very unusual to this group, including the GHRC's participants. I want you to check in with yourself, not as a professional, as a HR or as a marketing or as a quality or whatever, but as a human being. Think of the last meeting or an event you were in, a moment you look completely confident. Maybe you were presenting something, your idea, maybe you were giving some advice, maybe people were looking from you some answers. Can I ask a very uncomfortable question? Were you confident in that moment? Or were you performing confidence? Did you ever encounter? Okay, great. So, were you performing confidence, Suman? Yes, or were you really confident in that moment?
I was really confident. Last Saturday was delivering a keynote speech for a group of entrepreneurs. I was really confident, and also there were a lot of questions which I addressed with with the best of my confident answers. Yeah.
Super. That's great. I give this space to others also to contribute.
So, Renu, often it happens at workplace that, as part of my portfolio, I'm supposed to go out, talk to colleges, students at large. So, of course, I feel that, my confidence varies at two level. One, when I'm very confident of the content, when I know everything in and out, I know that I own this space, right? But there is a second place wherein, say, for example, I'm working on a new project, I'm presenting some findings, where I'm also sort of exploring stuff right now. That is the place where it sometimes sort of stumbles to me that okay, probably I really need to go back and think and go back to the whiteboard. And often it happens that especially when you're presenting to a leadership team, and for me, for a person to whom I look up to, there are moments when I'm like, okay, probably I'm not doing so well as I do in say other spaces. So it also happens who is my audience also. For me, that's for me.
Great, thank you. I think it's a very genuine expression, Khushbu, and I kudos to Suman that you feel really confident on the subject what you spoke. That's great. I still offer this to the audience, like what Khushbu said, uh, like her on the second part. How many of you have ever been in the room where everyone assumed that you're confident? Everyone assumed that you're very confident. But inside you were thinking that, am I really saying right thing? Do I sound smart enough? What if I'm going to be speaking wrong? What if I will be caught, which is not right? I'm not asking you to express that. If it has happened with you, just say yes or no, I'm happy with that. But raise this hand in your mind if you have encountered this. Because today, like we spoke in the initial, that today is about that gap. We have spent years of learning how to look confident, how to be more confident, always project to be a confident in any situation when it comes, but very few of us have actually explored the cost of maintaining that image, looking confident. And we wear the mask long enough. that we forget that what's a real face feels like. So this session, my friends, is not more on how to be more confident, but it's just that it is more of an awareness, so that in case we are feeling that, for yourself, imposter, how you can really encounter that situation and convert that for your benefit. So I hear you, Pravan, when you say when I design and deliver a new training program, the receptivity increase my confidence by the end of the training. Amazing. That's great. So on that note, I would like and invite you that what is that one word describes that leaders feel that they must project? I invite you to put in the chat box that one word describes what leaders feel they must project. So for example, I feel that the leaders must project that I have all the clarity. Okay, Pawan says subject matter expert.
Oh no.
I think Indu, you have any question? All right, so I want the audiences to put across, the learners to put across one word that describes that leader feels they must project. As a leader, you feel that you must project. Business knowledge? Great. Any more thoughts? Decisiveness? All right. One more thought. Clarity of business purpose. Great. Simplicity? Any more? All right. I just want to put it across here that do you see these are the leadership qualities or these are the expectations from the leader? The clarity, decisiveness, business knowledge, expectation. Perfect. So these are the expectations. And do you agree that expectations have consequences? Yes. Perfect. Yes. Okay. All right. So I see expectations you see as leadership qualities. But these expectations we say that have consequences. So can we move to the next slide? And the next slide. I would like to bring it here, over the years, I have been working almost like 2.5 decades with the professional across industries and the leadership levels, which is global and in context to global, I'm rather focusing on. I keep noticing a pattern, which I found really, really fascinating. Do you know that some of the most capable people or the leaders I met and we exchange are the ones who are quietly questioning themselves the most? So for example, when we talk about the expectations, so these are the people who do not lack the competence. In fact, they are the often people, the leaders who are relied on the most. They are thoughtful, responsible, deeply committed of doing the work well. But in the moment of the expectations and the visibility, when they have to present any big idea or they have to contribute to a big boardroom, something interesting happens internally. They would question whether they are capable as others believed in them. Sometimes, when you really look at their presence in the room, it was not an accidental at all. They have earned these places. The leaders have earned these places. through a lot of learning, performance, and contribution. But gradually, when they moved into the spaces of greater responsibility, those qualities are converted into expectations, which every leader we expect needs to demonstrate. But can I tell you internal truth for that? That they are internally experiencing, which is not the reality. So that is basically, they always question themselves that, am I really confident to take this up? And they will also question to their own capability at times that their achievements is because of the timing, is of a luck, or the circumstances rather than their own ability. Have you also encountered such kind of a feeling with you when you've been given some kind of a responsibility and you feel that this is because, it's just because of a timing or because of a luck? And do you give this less credibility to your own capability? Any thoughts on that? Yes, sometimes. And what do you term this feeling as? Why this feeling is coming? Sharmila, I see that you're saying yes sometimes. Would you like to talk? Would you like to put on a chat?
Yeah, sometimes what happens is I really do not know whether I will be able to pull things off when we pick, especially when it's a new kind of a project that we are getting into, and we've not done that before. So that is what kind of feels like, if everything goes well and there's nothing that there's no glitches and things like that, that's when I feel like, oh, maybe this was because of luck, or maybe we got the project because of the timing and things like that.
Great. So what is that feeling which comes, Sharmila, for example? You said that, if you just put those in a word, is it a fear? Is it a sense of not good enough? Is that because it's a self-doubt? So what is that feeling which comes in?
It's probably because I do not know much of it. The project, we have taken it up for the first time, so we do not know what is happening and what needs to happen in the beginning. So probably that's the fear of unknown, I guess.
Great. So it's like fear navigating the unknown. All right, great. And I see it's doubtful or self. Sense of trying to stay grounded. Great, Pavan. Good.
And
So
another thing that I feel also, probably it's about the culture we are grown in, that says that be humble and things like that. So probably that's one more thing.
yeah, but when you look at these feelings, what comes in, the
Yeah,
doubting, the fear,
the fear. Yeah.
am I really good enough? Am I really capable? Or is it a fear of exposed? I will get exposed. I overestimated myself, but in case it's a failure, I will be exposed on my competence. And also with the fact that the imposter syndrome, and these are feelings are nothing, it's basically imposter syndrome. It's not like culture, it is globally. It is globally. And largely, when we look at as we progress towards this interactive session, we will say, and also we will see, the higher we get into a curve of our maturity of our learning, our awareness of our self-doubt started to increase more. So that's again one of the good findings. So great, thank you for your offerings and for your inputs. So I understand, you feel self-doubt, feeling fake, not good enough, fear of getting exposed, navigating the unknown. But let me tell you that all of these feelings is not a feeling problem. It's just not the feeling problem. It is a behavior problem which is driven by a feeling. Do you agree with me? It's a behavior. The moment I start feeling that, I convert that feeling into a behavior. It is not that you feel an imposter. It is because you feel like an imposter. You hesitate, you over prepare, you stay silent, and you play safe. Can we go to the next slide? And when we start to do this, you start to really play silent, you play very safe, you play very protective. But on the other side, imagine two people have the same doubt, been given a same project. One speaks anyway, and one waits. Same feeling, but different outcome. Sorry to interrupt. Do you see my dog barking? Do you hear that noise in the background? Yes or no? All right, so I think it's all good. Oh, the dog. I'm so sorry. My dog is right in front of me. And if you are getting that agitation, my apologies, because he's so close to me and he's sitting right besides. So thanks for adapting with me on that front. So this is very important that, it's same doubt, two people, one reacted, spoke about it, and one wait for expressing that feeling. And you will see for a same circumstance, there was a different outcome. Why? Because the one could take a lead and speak about it, and one continued to wait. And that is called the cost of looking confident. So I will not speak about much. Like I said, I am a student of learning, and it's my privilege that I get to interact with like-minded people like you, who are equally passionate for the learning. I'm a firm believer of people. I think the people are the game changers. They can do anything what they want to do. The possibilities are with them, and with the beauty of AI coming in, the technology in a pace, I think the future is going to be brighter only when we continue sharpening the edge. I'm currently working with a French organization, and I'm leading in the gamut of the HR and the communication globally, and recently moved to the Africa, Middle East, India, and Kazakhstan cluster. So that's about me quickly. I would like to go to the next slide and put across this particular situation and want to invite the hidden cost in the actions from you. So this is a situation one I would like to really offer. You are given a very high visibility project that is slightly beyond your current experience, imagine, or maybe you have already undergone. It's a kind of an opportunity that could accelerate your growth, but instead of excitement, you feel pressure. And I'm sure I normally undergo the same. And this needs to go right. You start working, you avoid experimenting, trying new approaches. You stick to what you know will work. And even if it is not the best solution, you spend time ensuring that nothing goes wrong, then exploring what could go right. Because I need to get this project. I need to get this business project. I need to get this vendor at any cost. I need to get this particular project at any cost. Have you encountered such situation? Can I have a yes and no in the chat? Great. So what is happening here in the situation?
It is an opportunity for you to learn dealing with adversity, right? So when you take up new challenges and face adverse conditions, you will be able to, bring in some new ideas, interesting things, so that not new ideas, implement innovation, so that you can get a breakthrough in that particular project or particular scenario, and you'll be able to, yes, tell yourself, yes, you have not done something different, rather than approaching with the way that you've done in the past.
Great. I think that's a solution, Suman, you're offering, which is amazing. This is what, you're saying from a defensive to an offensive.
Yeah.
But for example, in this situation, I'm sure when we encounter this situation is gone, and we see that, we particularly spend time ensuring nothing goes wrong, then exploring what could go right. And I can read from Pawan that instead of being creative, we stick to the safe zone. So,
I think, sorry, Renu, we're getting background noise. I think somebody needs to be on mute. Ritika, just have a check. Somebody has to be on mute, getting some background noise. Sorry, Renu, please go ahead.
No, everybody's on mute.
I see Arshit is on mute. I think getting a background noise from there.
Just a second.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, Renu, please.
No, that's great. So I'm saying this is a situation we are talking about. And in this particular situation, what is happening wrong? It's that we are spending more time ensuring that nothing goes wrong than exploring what could go right. So what is that imposter voice which is coming in the situation? It is that we try not to be creative and we try to stick on the safe zone. And we say, give me a moment. So I think it must be better now because my dog was barking and I'm trying to make him quiet. My apologies. So I'm saying in this situation, what is happening here is that I'm trying to say that if I make mistakes here, it will expose me, right? And what we do is like what Pawan has mentioned and Renuka, that we play safe. We avoid bold ideas and we say, no, look at the time, look at the revenues, look at the investments, look at the space we have. Let's try to do what we have already done in the past without reinventing the wheel, right? And we focus on the perfection over the impact. Absolutely. And we don't ask questions that might seem basic because we say, okay, this project has been given to me, the situation is with me. If I will ask any question which might be basic, and I will be exposed, So that is again an imposter voice which let you safe play. So I'm sure any one of you who have encountered will relate with that. But that's again an imposter voice which makes you to sit back and get into a defense mode. So I'm just trying to give you certain situation. It might relate to you, it might not relate to you. But I'm trying to put across that what is that imposter voice which comes during that situation and makes you to play safe. This is another situation I request team to display. Can you go to the next slide? I let you read this and connect and introspect that you are in a discussion with a concept or a decision is being explained. And you do not really understand that fully. Any decisions or any kind of a concept. To me, if I go with some new concept, I really don't understand in the first go. Honestly speaking. Others seems to be following along, asking intelligent questions, building new ideas. But I hesitate because as a part of you want to ask for clarity, but another part immediately shuts you down and say, in your brain, What's happening to you at that point? It says to shut you down and say, I should already know this and I should not be asking this. And you say, you quietly accept, you nod, you align your thoughts with the speaker or the concept creator or your management. You make a note to figure it out later, that whatever they are explaining, whatever they are, asking you to do as a project, you say, okay, take it, we will take it later, we will figure it out later. But can I tell you, friends, that this later never fully resolves it? It's never. It is your own struggle because you did not ask, but you try navigating by your own self. So what is happening here?
Overconfidence, I would say.
Great. That's overconfidence. And what is your mind telling you at that point? What is that imposter voice telling you? What is that feeling which is telling you that?
People might be judging me that, oh, Khushbu doesn't know even this.
On the nail. And on the other side, she's not really exposing herself with the right question she wanting to, but she herself is closing herself, taking it inward. I will not ask this question. I will try to protect my image. I cannot let anyone to see me that I don't understand this, because to me it's a basic, but you would not know. The person who is giving the concept must not be equally competent to tell you, right? And what we do here, again, we basically stay silent. We pretend to follow and say, okay, what are you saying? We judge, we just nod. We avoid asking very basic questions and trying to self-correct later. So who is at the recipient end in this situation? Is that the content giver or the content receiver? It is us. Why? Because my imposter voice was so heavy that I listened to my voice, what's happening to me now. Instead, why cannot I let me be vulnerable to speak? Because I'm feeling for others and not for me. Great. So I thank you so much. I think you're resonating what I'm trying to say here. Let's go to, and I would basically call this particular situation, that here we are not really increasing ourselves, we are losing the growth, right? Because we're trying to take all the energy, all that efforts onto us to navigate, to find, to have questions, to have answers. So let's move to the next slide. That's another situation. And this situation is very subtle, but dangerous, I would say. I've tried to pick out some common situations, and that's where, let me know if it is relatable or not. If it is not relatable, you're happy to ask questions, raise your hands, or put your perspectives in the chat. Great. You're in a meeting where ideas are discussed rapidly, very rapidly and quickly. And these days we have a lot of brainstorming sessions. After one or the other, we have a brainstorming, process, features, and everybody's so excited and also nervous because there's a brainstorming happening. I need to really stand out. I need to really give a perspective. I need to look out as a most confident and intelligent and a very sharp participant in the group. You have a perspective, it is not fully formed, but it's directionally strong. You start framing it in your head, and then you're trying to make it sharper in your head. You say, okay, I will only talk when I will have that entire a framework in my head or answers in my head more complete. While you're doing that, conversation is moving forward, right? And someone else in that brainstorming meet jumps in with a version of your thinking, what you were thinking. You sit there thinking, but that's exactly what I wanted to say. Did it happen to you? That you are in a thinking mode, but somebody else jumps in and spoke about exactly the thinking what you say. So what is happening here? I invite your offering. What is happening here? And how do you feel?
Well,
For being perfect. Like,
well, in this scenario, I would second that idea, saying that yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say. However, if there's something different from what he is is already presented, I will present my version, or I'll just say that it's a great idea and acknowledge that person. That way, we are on the same page.
Perfect. But do you also feel somewhere that, why did you really hold back? You want to really hold back because you wanted to listen from all? Because that's a brainstorming session, no, Suman?
Yeah, everybody's got a timing right, Renu, because sometimes the other person might be quick thinker than me, so they would have gone ahead and presented the idea. That doesn't mean that I lost the opportunity there. They have told it, yes. Feel happy that we're part of the team and encourage that we are thinking in the same direction, and it's a
Perfect.
teamwork end of the day.
Great. So I like the idea of the teamwork, and I really resonate what you're saying. What if you're going for any kind of a business deal, and you have a lot of, you have a lot of competitors with you, and there is an idea which is put across. So how do you really take that?
Uh, Business scenario, well, that's a great question. I would just let that go. See, there's nothing in our control in that case, right? So somebody who wants to give that idea, and if that idea has been accepted, let that be. You always have to let go of certain things in order to gain something else in the future.
I like your perspective. Thanks, Suman. Anyone would like to add what Suman is saying? Maybe some different situation? You have that idea, you have that answer, but it's just that you were just thinking and exactly the answers being given by the team, or maybe somebody in the competition or in a bidding, something like that. I look at your answer, Pawan, and I really resonate what you said, that was nervous to talk first because of fear of being judged wrong, know it all, and things run on mind at the same time, which generally happens, and we say, oh, I have the same idea. I didn't speak. And we talk, we introspect ourselves, why? At times it happens that, we always say that, what if I say wrong and I should wait till I'm clear? In that moment, what we are doing is we are holding back to ourselves. Why we are holding it back? Because we are waiting to be a perfect in our articulation. We want that everything what I'm saying needs to be perfectly articulated, to be understood, to be applauded, to be appreciated. And that's where I think we hold it. And then we feel, okay, I will be missing the timing of the contribution. Perhaps I will try next time. If that's the case, go ahead. There is never a perfect time. The time which is in motion is an action. Go ahead, express, talk. Probably from your answer, there are more thinking coming for other people, right? So that's the situation which is basically we normally call is holding back. That moment is painful because it's revealed something that it's not, you're not incapable. It's just that you're trying for a clarity to come. You wanted to listen from all. You wanted to create your own articulation so that you listen from all and then you articulate. But let me emphasize this, friends, that even if in your mind it is 60% clear, It's imperfect, but it's just that you took a chance. You spoke. You did not hold it back. And that's where it at times it comes, not for all, probably. I know most of you are real confident and not encountered such situation. But why this particular things comes up, which holds you back, which let you let others speak? What is that? Any thoughts? I understand from Suman that it is a teamwork. He would like other to speak. But for others, I see that it's a fear of being wrong judge. It is okay that to be satisfied to listen from others. So what is that which is holding you back? Any thoughts? All right. So the silence means everything is going fine. And I have to also respect the time. If I have to relate it, I would like to again come up with one very small question. Honestly, you have to help me answering. How many of you believe that confidence comes first and then the action follows? How many of you believe confidence comes first? Please say confidence first. And somebody who says action follows confidence can say action follows confidence. Okay, so Pawan says confidence first, Renuka says confidence first, Suman says confidence first. So I repeat my question. How many of you believe that confidence comes first and the action follows later? It's a loop, all right? Can we go to the next slide? Okay. Kushbu, you says action maybe. I mean it, act like positive reinforcement. Great. Action follows confidence. Great. I will give another few more seconds because I think we have few more slides to cover and it's quite engaging. I can see. I would like to invite Sharmila here and ask your perspective. What makes you say that action follows confidence? Sharmila, over to you. Would you like to speak or you're comfortable only just putting the comment?
No, yes. Reason why I say action follows confidence is if you are confident enough that you know the subject matter or you are capable of doing the brainstorming session, then your involvement will be more, and that comes with the confidence is what I feel.
I love the idea. Thank you, Sharmila. Great. I like your comment, Dr. Piyush, that confidence builds with the involvement in progress. And so fair with the Khushbu also. Action maybe. Anybody from the team, Mishiba, or maybe I would like to say Renuka, what makes you say that the confidence comes first? Would you like to express your perspectives here? Confidence comes first and action follows? Or maybe Renuka, you say confidence first? Would you like to talk? Okay, all right. All right, so I think it's a mix of, no worries, Renuka. So I think it's a mix of perspectives which is coming, saying that confidence comes first, or maybe the action follows you to basically move for your confidence. You know, most of us, I think, have been conditioned to believe that always feel confident, always be confident, then speak, and then act to lead. But I want to challenge that completely. I'm not saying that I'm against that, but I want to challenge this thought, my friends, that the confidence trap is this belief that I will act when I feel ready. Do you think it sounds logical?
No, not always. Sometimes you don't have the clear picture, you're not confident, but still, if you have to take that action, you must take it and do the course correction later. For
Okay, great.
example, yesterday, I just give you a simple life example. Yesterday, I had about an hour's time in the afternoon. I want to buy a mattress. So I went to the first shop, had a discussion. I didn't click. I went to the second shop. The owner himself made me sit. We didn't talk about the product. We just engaged with each other and we built a good rapport. That gave me confidence. And also, I took action by paying the advance and getting the product. So the same day, the mattress was delivered, right? So you don't have to be always confident. You have to just take action.
Right.
Always the confidence is not the game.
Great. But Suman, you took the actions by visiting to the vendor, isn't it? To look at.
Absolutely.
So that's an
That's the
action.
first step. Absolutely correct. Yes.
That's an action.
Yes.
So, and this gives you the confidence because you acted, you walked, you look at the product, and it gave you the confidence. I think we are moving towards the right direction. So, would you like to really relook that you acted and it give you a slight confidence? Or
Yeah,
you want to
correct.
still?
Once you move in and then have a take the next step, then you will become the path will be more clear. Then you can take the next steps and then you achieve what you want to achieve, right? But you need to
Absolutely.
move first. You need to move. People don't fail in having confidence. People don't fail in planning. People don't fail in having an idea. Where people fail in is in taking the right action.
Absolutely, I echo the same. So act, take a movement, and this will gradually start to build your confidence. Yeah, I like the Nike. Just do it. So I go back to this particular point again, and I think most of you resonate what I'm trying to say, that most of us have been conditioned to believe that first feel confident and then speak and act. No, I think confidence trap is that belief that I will act when I feel ready. But readiness, like what Suman is giving an example, is a moving target. It's a moving target, you know. So think about your life. You wait to speak when your idea is clear, or when you wait to ask when your question sounds smart, or you wait to act when you feel fully prepared. What happens? We normally, when we say we are confident first and act later, we continue to just wait and wait, and the moment get passes. So notice this pattern that when I speak, I will speak only when I'm clearer. I will contribute when I'm more confident. I will try when I'm more ready. How many of such moments in your life has actually come back? So again, it's an introspection that confidence does not come before action. It is the result of your action which boosts you. And like a very small example, like what Suman has given, that he went to the product to see and then his confidence raised. Similarly, like that, think about swimming. You know, when you go for a swimming and you want to learn swimming, do you stand outside the pool and say, let me feel confident first to jump, and then I will say, okay, I'm feeling confident? No. You enter into the pool awkwardly. You struggle. You panic. And then slowly it builds your action. It gives you the speed. It gives you the confidence. And this is where, mostly in the meetings when we look at it, the most capable people, they would like to really want to see that they want to wait so that they can be perfectly articulating their thoughts. And there are few people who are vocal in terms of putting their perspectives. So the one who acted normally, if he has really spoken right or not, perceived confident, And the reason we wait, because our brain is trying to protect us at times, don't act yet. What if, again, the fear of judgment? What if you are wrong? What if you have been judged? But actually, what it is trying to protect you, it is trying to protect your image at the cost of your growth. So the question is, how do I feel more confident? Am I choosing to wait or I'm choosing to act? And that's where the confidence trap, I go to the next slide. It says that choosing to wait and choosing to act is basically, I'm not sure. I will speak when I'm ready. It is delaying, it is doubting, and it is giving a stagnation. On the other side, when I'm acting, I'm sure, but let me ask questions. I'm here to ask questions. I will speak while I'm thinking. Let me try this. I'm vulnerable. That's okay. I'm not looking anyone to be judged, to look at me to judge. It's me who is coming here to learn. That is where the real growth is happening. That's where it's happening to really shape me to choose to act versus to wait. So like we said, that confidence is built in motion, it's not in waiting. So we cannot really become confident in public speaking by thinking about it. I'm just giving a very small example. We get into it when we start to participate in that. Do you agree? Do you have any thoughts? I invite your perspectives here.
Well, I'll just take this quick opportunity to just quickly share an experience of mine where I took action and saw the result, which was beautiful. This was during one of the sports event. I was playing for the ISRO football team, and we were playing against one of the tough team. The opponents were the defending champions, right? So towards the end of the match, football, as you guys know, it's a 90-minute tough, intense contact sport, right? So we have about like 10 minutes left on the clock, and we are defending really well, and we're not considered a goal. The opponent is trying everything possible to win against us, even during the last moment, right? So I got an opportunity, and then I just take a crack at the goal, and then it happened to go behind the net, right? And with that one goal, we defeated the defending champions, right? I never thought about myself of scoring a goal, but I just took action, right? So that gave a confidence for our whole team and as well for myself as well. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
A big round of applause. Great. That's a great sharing, Suman. And that was my next question to everyone. What is that one thing you are currently waiting on? Think in your mind. Raise a hand in your brain. What is that one thing you are currently waiting on? Think about it. And what would you like to act on it now? And if you act on it now, where will it take it to you? Anything which is currently you are putting on a wait because you wanted to have a perfect time, or you wanted that you have all clarification and all clarity on this content. What if you would like that stuff which is waiting on, you want to act on it? So I will let you take a call on that, reflect, and I would say go ahead and act on it, because that's your next step for your confidence trap to break and move for the next step. And can we move to the next slide? And this is a very important statistics which says that the imposter syndrome, we are not alone. The Gail Matthews, the professor and the psychologist for the imposter syndrome, who's done this exercise, he spoke about 70% of the successful people reported experiencing the imposter feeling at some point in their life. 75% of a woman have experienced and are experiencing the imposter syndrome, which is KPMG. And 80% of the CEO feel out of their depth in their role. And that's a study from a Dropbox in the School of Life study. And 84% of entrepreneurs and the business owners, predominantly MSMEs and are reporting the imposter syndrome. So we are not alone. And what is stopping us to do that? It is that imposter feeling in my mind. It is that confidence trap in our mind. How can we really break that? Because you are not alone in this. I think if we look at it predominantly, I think everybody at some phase of their time is undergoing that. So if the CEO feels this, and I was really wondering when I was reading that, it's not do you think it's a capability issue? Yes or no?
No.
It's not. So where is the issue?
The mindset issues.
Perfect. So you nailed it, Suman, that it is not the capability issue, because all of you sitting at the CEO or a business entrepreneurs, they have showcased, they have demonstrated, and that's where they have reached here. It is the cost of awareness. It is that sense of awareness in my mind. It is a sense of that feeling which is giving it to me, and I'm converting this feeling by creating it as a behavior. I'm developing this as a behavior. So what is that cost and reality of this imposter syndrome? I request my friend to move to the next slide. Unless anybody's got question, I'm happy to have that. So this is a very interesting comparison, the cost and the reality of the imposter syndrome. The cost, what it does to you. Performance drops because I'm into a zone of not having that awareness. The visibility drops, opportunities reduce, learnings get slow, and the energy get drains. And believe me, the reality is that the better you get in your competence, you will get to see that you do not know more, and you have always a curiosity to learn more. And that's where we're saying that it does not go away, but it increases with competence. The more, I'm sure you must have learned this quote and heard this quote, that the more I learn, the more I realize that how much I do not know. So the imposter feeling does not go away with success, it increases with the competence. The more I get to know, the more I feel that I do not know. It is an invisible externally because it's your talk with your feeling and with your behavior. And it is reinforced by our own action. So this is where the cost and the reality of imposter syndrome. Having an imposter syndrome is not bad. It's a good feeling. It is helping you to know more. It is helping you to understand the depth of the next so that you can better up more. So stop feeling the feeling of self-doubt, a self or fear that why you're doing it, but it is more making you vulnerable, curious, and hunger to know more. So that's the reality of imposter syndrome. So it's not good. Any thoughts here? I just want to pause and I want to have your reaction on this slide.
Just a quick question, Renu. How do you be, proactive in nature by not thinking too much and just do things first, and then later on, make sure that we worry about what is wrong or embrace what has gone right? How do you have that awareness? How do you make it as a autopilot mode to make sure you don't worry too much about what's going to happen in the future?
For sure. Excuse me for my good dog is barking. It's
Sure.
not a good
Sure.
one, but again, but I let you. I think when we follow through few more slides, I will help you. Look at. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, I help you to navigate with a tool. It's an amazing tool. I can give you a glimpse of that tool, but it's a very extensive workshop we need to do in terms of understanding. So in our following slide, you will have an answer to give you a glimpse, to give you an indication, what is that we have to control. It's a loop. which will help you to control your feelings. So as we move, I think Suman, you will have answer in the coming slides. I hope you're okay to wait for that.
Certainly, sure. Thank you.
Great. So may I request to move to the next slide? I think we are done with this. Can we move to the next slide? So, like we were talking about the reality of the imposter syndrome. So the imposter syndrome does not stop you from succeeding. It makes you to operate at a fraction of your potential, right? Looking completely fine. So next time, whenever you have that feeling, it's an imposter feeling and you can break that. And how? That's a very interesting, you have to really always think about that. It is not about your capability, but you have to always see that where are you really playing smaller than you are, So let's go to the next slide, which talks about your competence paradox. Next slide, please. How many of you have seen this competence paradox, have heard about it, and do you know about it? I think I'm going to be repeating what I said in my previous slide. Yes or no? Or is it the first time? If it's the first time, say first. If it is not, stay quiet. Okay, the chat is silent. It means first time. Great. First time. Great. So this is again, it's an insight. What I spoke in my previous one of my slide, that it's a competence paradox, which says the more you know, the less certain you feel. Do you see in this chart that when you're a beginner, you have a very simple view and you have a high confidence. You ask questions just very flawlessly, at a beginner level, because you do not know about the subject. You have a high confidence, but you have a low awareness. And when you go to an intermediate, you are in a confusion and your awareness get into a doubting scenario. But when you get into an expert mode, your awareness becomes deep. And then your confidence is like calibrated. Because now you are actually into a situation, okay, is this really or is it not? Because here you have a deep understanding of the subject. And that's where you question self, question others, question situations, question the content, question the projects, because you have reached to an expert stage here. Right? So the overall crux here is that doubting is not a weakness, guys. It is an awareness which is expanding faster than the certainty. Right? And that's why we basically feel that, higher we know, and then we have, because here you're trying to challenge the assumptions, you're challenging the thought process, you're challenging the context, and these comes from always from experts. So when you have a doubt, you have questions. So believe me, you're not at the beginner level, and neither you are at the intermediate. You are sitting at an expert who are equally curious to know more, who wants to challenge the thoughts, the assumptions. Do you follow me, or do you agree with me on this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does this make sense? So I'm just trying to bring it across that when that monster, I would say, when the monster of a doubt, when a monster of a fear or a monster of challenging the status quo comes in, it's your expert knowledge which is challenging you. Be vulnerable to express, right? I always have this competence paradox in mind. So let's move to the next slide. And I'm sure you must have, how many of you have heard about NASA engineers Apollo 13? Yes, no? Do you know about Sheryl Sandberg? Who is Sheryl Sandberg? Great. Super. So let me talk about NASA Apollo 13 lesson. It's a very interesting case study. I will be just giving you a brief that NASA's seventh crewed Apollo mission was intended at the third lunar landing, sometime in 1970s or so. And it became a renowned successful failure. You know why? It became failure because there was a oxygen tank exploded in the service module spacecraft, and it was like forcing the astronauts to abort the landing, and make it come back safely and do not loop around the moon. That was the real crisis of the mission. So this was the Mission Impossible challenge for the engineers. The astronauts might not survive, was the situation. But you know what was the rare in that environment? What was the rare in that environment? Can anyone guess what could be the rare challenge in that environment when we know that all the subject matter experts were sitting? Because it's like supreme of scientists who are handling that. What could have been happened that point in time? They were vulnerable to express that we do not know now. The entire crew who was handling this mission, they say we do not know, and they did not really project it that we know everything and we will try to bring it back. They challenged everyone's assumptions, and there was no confidence pressure to be demonstrated by anyone. So no one demonstrated any pressure to stay confident, but they say we do not know, but let's find out and see if we will save our lives. And you know what saved their lives? Everybody was vulnerable to say, I do not know this. Let's find out to solve this problem. Let's try this problem to solve it out. And then what was happening here? Everybody was vulnerable to express that how can this particular challenge help us in solving? We know we all will die. It was a mindset that everybody, irrespective of a supreme scientist or an engineer, they said, we do not know, let's experiment, let's break this, and let's try to bring a solution. And that was a mindset. Everybody was vulnerable to say, we do not know. And what happens? They were saved. The lives were saved. And what it brings back? It brings back solutions. It brings back innovations. It brings back open to be challenged. It made them open to be vulnerable to express. And the few other crews who are going now, they're going with those technologies because they invented, they innovated, they do not fear. They run on the action and then they build the confidence. So that's the story of Apollo 13. I would like to now bring across the story of Sheryl Sandberg. And this is a very quick one, I tell you. We all know that she was a chief operating officer of a Facebook, a billionaire. And I am a damn fan following her madly in terms of her successes. Not only me, like millions of people are her followers. And she is one of the most powerful women of global business. External metrics speaks about her volume. Do you know what she spoke openly and very candidly and very vulnerably? That she confessed that every time she takes a test or she took a test or she do any innovation, she is sure that she had failed it. And every time when she succeeded, you know what she comes out with? She says she always felt that she has fooled everyone. Why is our example so vital for us today? Because it proves that imposter syndrome, don't think that it is going to be cured when I'm going to be the head of the business, head of the CEO, going to be a CEO. It's not cured, guys. It is with everyone, be it a title or a salary or a global recognition. If a person like Sheryl Sandberg can sit in a boardroom of a $1 trillion company and feel like fraud, that if she will say to people, she don't know, no, it proves her core premise that it is not the capability issue, but it is an imposter syndrome happening to everyone. So you are not alone. So, I'm just trying to emphasize here that as a leader, as a business owner, and as a professional specialist, we always recognize that the pressure of knowing everything actually makes us incredible. No. What it teaches us that those who are brave enough to admit when they are navigating the unknown are the ones who are the real confident people who are putting it across to be on an experimenting mode and trying to do something stand out. So, even though when we talk about success never eliminate your imposter syndrome, it really makes you feel vulnerable to express it. In today's scenario, when you look at the well-being of people, why it is getting deteriorating? Because people are trying to project themselves very confident, and they are very less expressive to express what's going inside. And this is also one of the factors of the well-being. So I think what I'm trying to say here that if the highly successful individuals are experiencing the doubt, it cannot eliminate the imposter syndrome. So it's a key learning. It is with everyone, and which is normal to say. Do you think this makes sense? Do you think it helps you to understand that imposter syndrome is normal and it is not always good to be seen confident all the time? Because we are not perfectionists in the image. Great. I would like to just pause and have some exchanges in this. Any views, any thoughts from the group? Any experiences you would like to share?
Well, I would just like to quickly share one of the podcasts I was watching between Raj Shamani and Vijay Mallya, right? During that conversation, he says that one of the things that was success, the quality that he has for success is being confident, right? So with that confidence level, he took a lot of action and he became what he was, right? So what are your thoughts about that? Like, highly successful people feel that confidence is an attribute of success. I just want a reflection on that, really.
Yeah, it's a good reflection. Thanks for sharing. Anybody would like to contribute what Suman has said? Let's make it interactive. We are not really learning. It's a platform to learn from each other, And please take off that feeling of that, your question is going to be perfect. So go ahead, Pavan. Wow, that's a great one if you made 2 to 3. Amazing, that's great. And I think I resonate with this, Pavan. I have been thinking for a long time on my solo travel. When at the time I think of my friends or my spouse or my kid, all of them are busy with their own agenda. And I really break that ceiling. And since then time, I've started to travel solo. And I think it's almost like 10 places, I would say. I've traveled solo. And there's a lot of adventure, and I've become so confident that people are coming to me and asking me that which places we can explore, So take that plunge. Take that plunge. It's important. You are the one who's going to be inspiring others, and that is only going to be possible by your actions. Great. That's a great thought sharing, Pavan, and thanks, Suman. Anybody else would like to really share in context to the imposter and what they would like to really plan and break it? Absolutely. So I think that's a great reactions and reflections coming up. I would like to go to the next slide, and this is again, I think we spoke the tool, Suman, you were asking about, and also for the benefit of the entire team. It's very important. Way back, almost like before joining my current organization, which is a French organization, I started to work with an Indian. I was heading India, but gradually when I started to travel globally and I started to work in various assignments across Europe and then Asia and then Middle East part of the world, I think I started to practice this. And this has really helped me. I'm not required to go to anyone because this tool is with me, and this is called cognitive reframing loop. And I would be giving you a slight glimpse of this tool because this is very extensive to experiment, to practice. But I give you a slight glimpse of this. This is not about thinking positively. It does not mean I just say, I'm the best. No, that's the toxicity positive statement. Believe me, guys. Right? So it is not about thinking positively. I'm saying think positively, but think rationally. How can I really have this cognitive reframe? It is about interrupting your faulty thinking in real time before it changes your behavior. It's a feeling. Let that feeling do not get translate to your behavior. We have to stop there. And why most people try to change their thoughts after the moment? Because I think they are practicing, or if not, they by inherent practice this called cognitive reframing. So can we just go to the next slide? What is this cognitive reframe loop? Has anyone seen this particular tool before? I invite your thoughts for the benefit of the other group. Yes or no? Just say on the chat. Okay, great. Anybody else? I wait for a few more seconds.
Well, I know for a fact that it works in this order. It starts with basically how you feel, and then that comes up as the feelings comes at a surface level as a thought. Then that becomes your belief, and then you take action. Feelings, thoughts, beliefs, action. So that's my awareness about it. This is the first time I'm seeing this frame as such.
Great, thank you. I think, yeah, so it's resonating what I'm trying to explain you, but in a bit, because it's a very detailed experiment, I think, and in case we get to meet again, we should do that. And it's a half a day exercise, but amazing framework. It says that how you have to transform your inner dialogue to overcome imposter syndrome. You have to always. So let's begin with a small exercise. Think about last time you doubted yourself in any meeting or a personal space. And maybe it's like when you try to fix that self-doubt later. Think about that time and put it in your mind. So probably you have done something, you doubted yourself for any situation, and you try to fix that situation, but not at that moment, later on. So for example, I had a doubt that this presentation which I gave it to my learning and development head was not really self-fulfilling because I was not having all the answers of my presentation. I had that self-doubt, and I tried to clear that doubt when I was like traveling back home, and this is exactly, I would like to invite you. Is there any doubt which came to your mind? You did not really restore at that point, but you restored and you tried to troubleshoot while you were traveling, and you later on you thought about it over a cup of a coffee. So catch that thought in your brain and tell what does that your brain automatically tells you when some doubt creeps in. Do you follow me what I'm trying to say? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, any doubt which came in your mind for yourself, or any fear or anything, situation where you feel that you were judged or you feel that you will be judged, your brain has opened that signal for you. Just put that in the chat. How many of you have faced that? 1, 2, or 3. Say yes. 1 for yes, 0 for none. Great. The second, that's called identifying that trigger. So for example, the moment you have that doubt, recognize that's the imposter thought. That's not your capability. You are capable enough, but that's a feeling which is coming, keeping in mind that situation or a task or a project or a group or an external noise. The step 2 is the moment it is coming, challenge that belief. That is that a fact or an assumption? Do you follow me? So when this doubt is coming or any question which is coming, is it an assumption or a fact? How many of you say it is an assumption? Can I have yes or no? Or if you say fact, then say fact. If it is an assumption, say assumption. If you say it's a fact, then say fact. If you follow me, I hope you follow me what I'm trying to say. Any self-doubt, any fear which is coming to you is basically a fact or is an assumption. Okay. Assumption. Suman says assumption, Piyush say fact. Renuka say fact. I would like to challenge Piyush and Renuka. Why did you say it's a fact? A self-doubt, any situation, where is it coming from? Why did you say fact? Is it a thinking? But again, you're saying sometimes lack of experience. A lack of experience is your assumption or is it fact? Where is this lack of experience coming to you, Renuka? This lack of experience is coming from a fear? Is it coming from the job? Is it coming from the a situation which you handle?
Sometimes it comes through lack of information. Not exactly every time, but sometimes it comes because of lack of some information or a new information coming from the boss.
Great. But if it is a information which is coming from the manager or from anyone, who is stopping you to ask this question?
Myself asking the question most of the time. That's called overthinking. We, being an experienced person, we think a lot before speaking. That happens, and but sometimes we break the silence and we come up and we give the right thing, and immediately we come to know. I come to know that yes, I was thinking right, but I was overthinking. Because of that, I was not speaking, not expressing, and things go right the moment I open my mouth.
Great. And this is where you answered here, Dr. Piyush,
Yes.
that you questions the assumptions, right? That I do not know. What if you have asked the question? That's an assumption. That's not the fact. I do not know the information. That's an assumption.
Yeah, true.
But you have a tool with you. Who is stopping you to ask questions? It's again an assumption. What if I ask a wrong question because I don't have information? That's again. So break that pattern. Break the pattern. The moment you say that I do not have this information and I do not know, it's a new thing which is coming to me. It's an assumption in your mind that will say, oh, it's preventing me to ask $1 million question. And what if it's going to be a stupid question? You were not hired for asking always right questions. You were hired to share your perspectives, to say that I do not know, but I'm curious to know. So that's your assumption. Challenge that belief. Challenge
True.
that belief. And believe me, my friend, when you would challenge this belief, your feeling of asking the question will automatically dismantle that voice of imposter, huh? And will give you, go to the next stage, which is reframe. So try to ask a question in a very smartest way and make it grounded. What if I say, I do not know and I want to know more? Reframe the question, create an empowering perspective, and say, that's interesting. And I'm really curious to know. And make it very grounded that I do not know. Can you help me knowing more? And remember, wait and cost, wait and act. Don't wait, act. Create your powerful questions, grounded one, saying, I want to know more. I do not know. Like you, I'm sure, in the room will also get benefited. Because we have a lot of people who are sitting with the cost of confidence and they do not ask.
Yeah.
And that's where, yeah. Are you saying something, Dr. Piyush? I want to hear you.
Yeah. And sometimes it is a part of our daily research. Like we do research on every question, like we do in PhDs. We start with objectives and some research gap and some questions, and we come with some results and conclusion. It takes time, though it is a PhD, so it takes 2 to 3 years. But during the meetings, it is a fraction of seconds. We have to come up to the solutions very soon, and we ask several questions to ourselves. As you shown the graph of beginner to experienced, the self-doubt, and because of a lot of experience and some information, we keep doing research in our mind, and it takes a considerable time. But the key to it is like our thought process should be fast, our presence of mind should be 100%, and if we are waiting for someone to come up to some certain supporting points to the discussion, what is happening, what is ongoing, we have to come little faster. And even if in parallel to the thought process, if we ask certain more supporting questions to the main question, to the objective, we come to the conclusion, and we can come up with a sensible statement, and which makes a point in the meeting, and it takes it to the right direction.
Absolutely great. So that's where you are interpreting your thinking into questioning, and questioning to a logical level, and then
Yes.
arriving to the conclusions. Great. And this is where we are saying, so don't stop. Let's empower our thought process by reframing a very grounded question. I do not know. We wanted to know more so that we can come with the right logical solutions, and that's where the curiosity to know more comes in. And do you know, in various organizations, just to know, how many of you know works with Google? Can I have a hands on? All right. There's a very good practice which happens that they invite in their brainstorming session to people who comes up with different set of questions, who are seekers, who are coming with multiple very innovative questions out of the league, which is empowering them to think innovatively, and that's where we look at it, power of asking right questions. So in the brainstorming sessions, they look for people who are really coming up with not very logical, but very smart questions, very basic questions, which can really trouble to the subject matter experts. And this is again a competence, guys. Power of asking and reframing the questions to let it answered completely. And it's a very powerful competence and a skill. So create an empowering perspective and then lock your mindset. Now, believe, if you look at what identify the trigger, why should I ask this question? And when you reframe the question, you look at the positive reinforcement of your self-talk, how quickly you are reframing your fear into a thoughtful question. and asking right time, same time, without waiting it and moving it to the later zone. And that's a loop which says self-doubt to self-empowerment, which you can start to practice, and you can overpower yourself on the imposter syndrome. Any thoughts here? Do you think it makes sense?
Yes, Renu, absolutely. A lot of sense. Thanks for sharing this wonderful frame.
Great. Thank you so much. At this point in time, I would request you, again, it's your own personal reflection, that one place, 2 sentences you can write and maybe you can reflect later. One place where I pretend to be confident is in the past. One place where I wish I could say, and I don't know this, could have helped you making progress or turning around anything into a success. Just these 2 reflections, and probably in future, you go for any situation, always ask where I should pretend to be confident and where I should say that I do not know. So that's again my offering to you, if you would like to, if you think it's sensible and if you'd like to explore it. On that note, I would like to request the team to make it next slide, please. We spoke, and again, it's a reflection. Start to practice if you think it makes sense, and it will turn around your imposter to your empowerment feeling and the behavior. Can we move to the next slide? I understand I'm getting some push on my time. So, let me leave you with a very, I remember a very beautiful quote from the psychologist Richard Feynman. He said that, I would rather have questions that cannot be answered than answers that cannot be questioned. The true leadership, I understand from one of the discussions I came across with one of the statements saying grounded. I love that word and I practice a lot. Believe me, the true leadership is not about protecting the image of certainty. I have all answers. It's all about protecting the space for truth, protecting the space of being grounded. It is about creating, I would say, an environment where you as a leaders, should reflect authenticity, right? We all are not born with perfect answers. We are still struggling with a lot of stuff in this world. And predominantly to the HR community, since I'm not biased, by the way, that my offering to you is that what is that one thing you will do differently to create a culture where people should start feeling safe? Can you give a space to people who says, I do not know? You know what? It's not the lacking the capability. They are lacking the expression. Give them the voice. Pull up the introverts. Pull up the people who says, I do not know. They are brave enough. They are capable enough to express it, right? So the question is that how we should eliminate the doubt. The real question is that how do we lead with confidence without losing the curiosity? How can we acknowledge the curiosity without losing the credibility? And this is where your authentic leadership plays the role. Remember, that always remember in any situation that confidence is not a performance signal, and it is also not a proof of competence. The pressure of appearing confident can suppress your curiosity and learning. I have all answers. Go and ask him. Don't ask this question, petty question with me. Yeah. The imposter syndrome affects even the most accomplished individuals. We have seen some case studies. And do you know that when the team performs better, when the creators start creating, the leader says psychological safety for uncertainty. The most trusted leaders are not the one who knows every question. They are the one who have most honest answers. So, if you want to really deep dive into this work, I will invite you to join in my any my future master class in case I happen to do that, where we will learn identifying the gap between you, who you are, and what you show, and what are those triggers which unknowingly converting your feelings to a habit, to a behavior. So that is all from my side. I think we are in time. We have 5 minutes. And I do not know whether this particular topic makes sense, do not make sense. I don't know whatever you're learning, you're taking it from here, will help you to apply, or will you share it to people who are in need? I open this space to you to express. Yes, Sharmila?
Hey, thanks. This was a really good session. You just broke the myth that I had always, like confidence. We had to prepare ourselves first, have that confidence, and then act. I think that myth was broken today, and that's a key takeaway for me from here. Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
My pleasure, Sharmila. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, just my reflection would be as a parent, always was wondering why do kids ask so many questions? Sometimes we don't have answers to those questions, but we anyway give the answers. Instead of that, you can just say that I don't know, but I'll get back to you. That's I think the biggest takeaway for me to start practicing in life by just saying what you don't know is you don't know, but what you know is you know that you can answer. And being authentic and being real, I think people value authenticity, and nobody can replace those reality. Though we live in the world that is so much real oriented, but nothing like being real. Yeah, that's my takeaway.
Absolutely brilliant. And and this is where when you look at it, we always say that we're looking for genuine leaders. We are surrounded with a lot of artificial intelligence, technology, and we have all answers everywhere. So I am AI practitioner. I'm leading the AI domain also. But I must tell you, I am in a deep need of people who can genuinely tell us a lot of behavioral sciences, a human centricity. So thank you so much for echoing that. Thank you so much.
In fact, your teaching methodology was beautiful. In fact, we didn't really have any lag in between. So everything was seamless, and you went through in a very systematic way, engaging ourselves and teaching what has to be taught in a very process driven way. So it was a great learning experience, Renu. And
Thank you
thanks
so
GHRC for this wonderful learning opportunity.
Thank you so much for everyone for listening me, and especially to the GHRC team who has been really supportive, and they are like, I think they are working very tirelessly for this particular project and for this particular I think community. I think it's a great. I can
Thank you so much, Renu, for saying that to us. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. And I have a question here from Renuka saying how to build psychological safety, safe place. It's a very beautiful question, Renuka. And in today's gamut, do you know that 76% of the working population is under a big stress, with the technology booming in, with a lot of uncertainty, the geopolitics we see, and it is only those organizations will thrive who are really making sure that psychological safety comes first. How many time or how many hours or how many minutes Do you sit with your team and reflect on the actions you committed with them and putting those actions into real life? Do an introspection. And when you start to do that, it starts from an individual. Be an inspirer. If you are the one who will do it, believe me, your team will reciprocate to you and it will reflect to the organization. Start building, start committing your actions into real life experiences for your team. Believe me, it is going to be a game changer. Psychological safety starts from leader, either lead from front or lead from back. Don't be a follower, don't create followers, create leaders, give them opportunity. Let them learn, let them lead the team. That's where you are leading as a leader. You are respected as one of the leaders who is giving the psychological space to people. Listen to them. Spend time in listening to people. Spend time letting them vent out. Spend time what they are speaking, what they are putting. Start putting small steps into action, be it at house or be it at your workplace. On that note, I think it's a time. I wish I can talk more, but I will let this session to be concluded. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sharmila. Thank you once again. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy and wishing you a happy Easter who celebrates it. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Renu.
Take
Thank
care.
you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Have a
Thank you
great
very much, Renu.
Bye-bye. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Have a restful weekend.